Okay, so moving on to part 2 of this series, I am gonna start with Backlot. Now, this is a fun map to play. It's aged pretty well. It's actually, although it feels bigger, for Modern Warfare, this is a fairly small map, but it kind of has a nice, like a good all-round feel to it. There's some sections where you can sniper up in those little gaps you can see. There's second floors you can run to, or there's like a building site that you can just see there. That's the opposite sniping area. Yeah, it's just a good, like, sort of nostalgic feel to it. If you played the series years ago, I guess a bit like in Counter-Strike has the Dust map. This is the one like that I think of in COD, and I don't know, that in turn kind of makes it a bit boring, because for me personally I feel like I've overplayed this map, but nevertheless it's really cleverly worked out. As I said before, all the maps have actually been very cleverly worked out in this version of COD, not so much in some of the others. And you see me sort of failing. Yeah, it makes pretty good search and destroy and so on and so forth. There's a lot of cover in this map, like lots of places to have lengthy backward and forward style battles. And yeah, it's first on this part 2. Probably not my favourite, but like I said, iconic kind of map. So moving on. So next map, Crash. This is one of my favourite maps for playing sniper on. There's so many good sniper positions on this map where the sniper has a pretty good advantage, considering he's way above the enemy or in a distant hollowed out building. There are tons of good sniper spots, but on top of that you've actually got a map where the middle section that has some cloisters. If you want to play a more fast sort of spray and pray style game, you can actually kind of conceive that as well. I mean, you can rush the sniper positions. So it's interesting because it kind of you can take all kinds of strategic approaches to it. This is actually a Christmas mod version, if you don't recognise it. Of course, it's just some fun version that was made for Modern Warfare Remastered, which is how I filmed this. But yeah, so much, like, for me as a sniper, which I'm pretty good at getting the shots away fast and accurate. I had untold kill streaks playing this map. Okay, so next on the list is Pipeline. This is a level that I used to love playing search and destroy maps on. It's very, very good for search and destroy in particular. One side generally has an advantage because if you start from the far end of the map, you actually have quite a long grassy approach before you enter the map in earnest. So this is a pretty big map. There's a lot of areas you can go, and it has an underground as well, underground tunnels there. There's plenty of space to try and jump to interesting platforms and upper floors. I mean, there's all sorts of potential for glitching higher up in the map and sniper positions and so on and so forth. It's a big map, and with a lot of scenery, and yeah, I mean, even small details you see, like that the steel, the tempered steel in the concrete there. That's the kind of artistry you don't actually see so much, even in like more modern Call of Duty games. The art team behind this game did a really good job. Also, something that you tend not to notice, or I tend not to notice, when you play these maps with enemies nearby, just how beautiful all the scenery is. I mean, a boundary break on a lot of these would be really interesting, because like here, look at that, like they've even got like some kind of factory or plant there with the smoke chucking out, and it's all been nicely modelled. Beautiful map and makes for great games. So moving on to Overgrown. Now, personally, this is definitely one of my favourite maps on the game. I think this, Block, Crossfire, and Crash are my favourite maps overall. So perhaps I should have included this on the part 1, but I suppose as I said, they're not actually in any real order. So just showing you a few glitches here. See how you get to this platform here, just very carefully using the sleight of hand as you use the rubble there, just demonstrating that. So this map is like a sort of medium-sized map with lots of foliage. So if you're a sniper, there's plenty of places to hide in this map. And another thing with this map is that, again, like many of them, Search and Destroy is a fun and complex, it's a very good Search and Destroy style gameplay, particularly Bomb A, where you are surrounded by a house with 2 floors and foliage on the other side. It always made for some fun and frantic Search and Destroy action. So many places to hide and catch out your opposition. You know, again, it's a pretty map. It's been lovingly modelled, so to speak, and yeah, just another classic map, really. It very much has that Soviet Chernobyl vibe, you know, where battle vibe, where, you know, it's all war torn but rich vegetation. Modern Warfare multiplayer is a split between maps like these that are based in Russia or territory in Eastern Europe, and ones that are sandy in the desert, where you're fighting, I don't know, like the fictional version of the Taliban, I presume. Or actually, I'd say that knowing the game, they probably fit Saddam Hussein is more accurate. So, another great map. Okay, so finally, I think the final map I'm going to do on the first Modern Warfare game, I picked Bog, or in this version it is made for Modern Warfare Remastered. This iteration is Beach Bog, which is a bit more, I prefer this one probably to the original Bog, because the original Bog is sort of in the evening and it's a bit dark and gloomy, and they've actually added a few bits of concrete pallets that break up the map more on this one, give people a little more colour to cover. Bog is probably, it's one of the smaller maps, and it tends to favour snipers, unlike a lot of small maps, because it's so open. Snipers can have a field day here, and I remember when I first played this on PlayStation 3 and so on. I remember that in Search and Destroy, you could actually use the tube grenade to take out like one or two or even more of the enemy team right at the start. Just sort of aim it in their general direction, and if you get lucky you take them out. Countdown, you can do that in Countdown as well, as I mentioned in the previous video. See how nice this little rejiggy of the map is. They getting out the people on the planet. It's really funky now. But yeah, it's a fun map, and I actually I've left a couple of maps that I like out, but yeah, it is what it is, and I think this map is actually very popular among players. I'm not quite so much of it myself because I like to strategize when I play rather than just be on a small map where it's a lot more frantic. I'm just trying to take out that chopper. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed the content. That's just a look back at the maps that I enjoyed. We all played these years ago as well, of course. So I will see you in another one soon. Ta-ra.